Hush is back. Back from what exactly, I couldn't tell you, but he's back, damn it. How's it going, fellow comic book nerds? I'm Drew, aka Aonaves, and as you probably guessed, we're talking about Batman 158, the first issue of Hush 2. So, as suggested by the title, Hush 2 is supposed to be a sequel to the original Hush, and even has the same creative minds behind it, Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. I would say most people have mixed opinions on Hush. There are some people that really love the original Hush run. There are people who are very disappointed with how everything unraveled. I'm personally on camp disappointment. I love the artwork. Jim Lee's artwork is always insane, but as far as the writing goes, I didn't like the way it ended. I thought Hush as a character was severely underbaked in that story. I also couldn't help but feel like I've seen these storylines before. Batman going up against all of his greatest enemies. We did that in Nightfall. The villain Batman's been pursuing ends up being one of his close childhood friends. Okay, not exactly the same, but we had something very similar with Two-Face in The Long Halloween. And I like both Long Halloween and Nightfall way better than the original Hush, but that's just my opinion. And opinions aside, Hush is one of the most iconic Batman runs, and the advertising for Hush 2 is heavily banking on the success of the original Hush run, so I'm already not super thrilled with Hush 2 just because I don't like the original one that much, and that seems to be much of the premise of it, is the fact that, oh, we got the same guys doing the sequel to this storyline again, and you know, it's a big deal coming back, but I just never really cared for the original Hush show. I'm already not too excited for Hush 2, but we're going to summarize it. We're going to recap it. I'm going to give you my personal thoughts on everything. So let's jump into it. Our story begins as Batman is following a truck that seems to be unloading a ton of Jokerized piranhas into the Gotham Reservoir. Wait, homeboy figured out how to get them to smile.
Piranhas can't smile. Even my own Joker toxin couldn't get a giggle out of them.
In true Batman fashion, he swoops down and beats the ever-living Christ out of these thugs, whose faces are melting off, by the way.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
I know it's like Joker put masks on them and it like melted their face with like Joker toxin or something, but low-key Batman just has like no regard for life in these panels, and I see no one talking about that, but it's fine, it's comic nonsense. I'll look past it. And as Batman finishes up beating up, apprehending these henchmen, he's wondering to himself, even in his unique state of madness, the Joker never went for old crimes. Why repeat the old jokes? That's when he gets smacked in the back of the head with a crowbar. Oh, and in case you're trying to figure out my motive for all this bat brain, if at first you don't succeed, cry again. I'm working on that impression. This ends Batman hurling down towards the same water that Joker just dumped all of his piranhas in, and they waste no time tearing this man apart. If he wants to live, he's got to think quick, so he is immediately going for his cowl. His cowl has a self-defense mechanism where if someone tries to remove it, it's either going to spray gas or it's going to send out a bunch of electricity. The idea was to electrocute all of the fish in the water to kill them, get it off of him. But what Batman didn't realize is that Joker actually compromised the suit by swinging at the exact part of the cowl that would like deactivate its lightning conductivity. Is that what I'm looking for here? I don't know. The point is he gets electrocuted, he gets deep fried in the water, and he is about to die. Meanwhile above, Joker is gloating about his victory against Batman, happy to get away with his schemes once again, up until he gets grabbed by what I can only presume is Maui from Moana. Maui taps his throat and all of a sudden his skin lights up and he screams, "On your knees!" This was so loud that it made the Joker's ear just splatter with blood, knocking him unconscious, which he then gets dragged away. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Gee, I wonder who that is. We cut to the clock tower where Dick and Barbara are hanging out. And Batgirl realizes that Batman's communications are offline, meaning either him or them are being jammed. Back to Batman, it turns out Talia was tracking him, and she ends up saving his life. She kind of just dips after that without any explanation. My guess is that she plays a greater role in this overall story than we would think. And now we get to the meat and potatoes of this issue. This part was just insane. We have an extended sequence of Hush torturing the shit out of the Joker, putting a contraption in his mouth that raises the roof of his mouth so much that it's like breaking his jaw, so he can't possibly talk. He's also tied up to one of those like carnival dartboard things where you like spin the person around and then you throw knives and miss them. Except of course, Hush isn't going to miss. He's intentionally throwing scalpels at major arteries so that the Joker will slowly bleed to death, only leaving him enough time to be saved by Batman. You can probably tell where this is going. Then back in the Batcave, Batman is just contemplating life. He kicked my ass. No, for real. He's just kind of wondering, like, what the hell is happening? Joker knew exactly where to strike him to compromise his Batsuit, unless it was just a lucky shot. Talia just knew where he was. His communications are down. Who else is involved tonight? While Batman is putting on his shiny new Batsuit, his communications all of a sudden come online. Quickly, Batman filled Nightwing and Batgirl in on the situation and told them to just shut down all communications as it's been compromised. It's now time to track down the Joker. Using what was on the Joker's shoe that he left behind, Batman deduced that he was hiding in this abandoned amusement park where he was attacked by several Joker-themed traps. But quickly, he would find out what was actually going on. As Batman busts through one of the mirrors, he finds Joker brutalized, bloodied, and on the verge of death, tied up, surrounded by a bunch of monitors, playing various clips of horrendous things the Joker has done, pushing Batman to let the clown die once and for all. Yeah, right. Putting the pieces together, Batman deducts that the only man, the one person who understands what he believes in, the only person with the knowledge of who he is, the only one who has the skills to execute this plan was his childhood friend and world-renowned surgeon, Tommy Elliot. Hush has returned. And that was the first issue of Hush 2. Honestly, I don't know how to feel yet. I don't think I'll be able to tell if Hush 2 is worth reading overall until we get that second issue. Let me explain. So there's a potential for a really good mystery here. You have the Joker performing old crimes, knowing exactly where to strike Batman, coincidentally bumping into Hush right after the crime. Like, I feel like he could be in cahoots. I wouldn't put it past him to get tortured on purpose. I mean, my guy literally cut his face off at one point. Talia showing up out of nowhere, the communications getting jammed, like, I think there's some really cool stuff here that could make for a great mystery. I also think they made Hush really badass in this issue because Hush has been a very underwhelming character in the past. Him using his skills as a surgeon to torture others and utilizing it overall in like his criminal activity, I think that helps him stand out as a character. And of course, the artwork is just incredible here. Jim Lee always does a great job, and it was the one standout thing with Hush 1, and it's standing out again in Hush 2. Now, I do think there are some issues with Hush 2 so far. I think the cliffhanger ending is very inconsequential. Like, it doesn't matter if Batman saves Joker or not, even though we know he's gonna save him because he always saves him. If Joker actually gets left to die, Batman doesn't break his no-kill rule. Joker dies, whatever. And then they're gonna throw him in a Lazarus pit or something. Like, this is the universe where no one stays dead because everyone makes DC too much money. That's just how comics work. And I just don't think there's like any high stakes with that ending. So I don't like that they just use that as like shock value bait. Leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth personally. And it's so unfortunate that Hush has been used so many other times by different writers because like Batman has dealt with Hush like on the daily. Like, this is just another villain for him. It makes the whole Hush has returned tagline so much more underwhelming. I think this would have hit a lot different if The only time we've seen Hush before this was literally the original Hush run, but because it isn't, it just doesn't hit for me. It almost feels artificial or forced to be hyped for Hush to come back. I don't know. So yeah, I think I could overall say I'm just as mixed on Hush 2 as I was with Hush 1, but I'm not going to say straight up that it's bad. I definitely enjoyed what I read, but I won't be able to fully recommend Hush 2 to people until we get that second issue. Like, that's when I'm going to know whether this is going to be a complete stinker run or if there's an actual like good mystery and a good premise to this story. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about Hush 2 so far. This is my first video like this, and I honestly had a ton of fun making it. So regardless of how well or bad this video does, I'm going to continue making these comic videos. If you want me to talk about the next issue of Hush 2, let me know in the comments below. It actually drops tomorrow as of uploading this. And if you ended up enjoying the video, I hope you consider liking and subscribing, because this is a brand new channel and I really want this to take off even just a little bit because I love talking about comics. And again, making this video was just so much fun and I want to continue doing it. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.